Hi everybody. I get lots of interest whenever I do anything about eye makeup. It seems to be quite a challenging aspect of what to do when you're older. So I thought I'd make this short video, especially for you, just to show you what I do when I put on my eye makeup. And my intention here is to give you a step-by-step process which you can follow using all Look Fabulous Forever eye products and just showing you how they work on me. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you find it useful. So to start with, I'm going to use Look Fabulous Forever Eye Primer. Now you may wonder what the value of an eye primer actually is if you've never used one before. By the way, I'm only going to make up one eye because it will be quicker and you'll see the effect on that. Now an eye primer, as you can see, I've applied it quite lightly and I'm now using our brush number 4 just to smooth that over the lid area. What this is going to do, it's going to remove any discoloration that I have on my eyelid, which is quite a problem for some women when they're older. And it also makes sure that anything that I put on top actually stays in place for longer. It's really brilliant. I think I've said before, and I'll say it again, older skin's a bit like blotting paper. And the trouble with blotting paper is if you try and draw a nice straight line on it or really put anything on it, it tends to feather, bleed and blur. And so what you're doing with a primer is you're actually making sure that that doesn't happen. So the next thing I'm going to do is my brows. Now again, brows are challenging for older women. They're often quite sparse. Mine kind of run out here. They disappear. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to create proportion and symmetry with your brows, so they should be as wide apart as the base of your nose, and then they should really, in terms of a line going from here to here to here, end about there, and you can see that mine actually stop here. So I'm going to correct that with our brow shape, and our brow shape is quite ingenious. I came up with the idea because I wanted to create something much more lifelike and realistic than pencil or smudgy powder. So what you do with the brow shape, using these light feathery strokes, having shaken it up first, is to just, you're kind of almost like a portrait painter, painting in the areas that are missing. So I'm never that bothered if I pluck out some of my eyebrows that have gone funny directions or they become very wiry or overlong, you know, all those things that happen to your eyebrows when you're older. Get rid of them, just pluck them out, because I know that I can recreate and actually have quite a realistic effect with this. And I'm going to extend the length of my eyebrows down like that, so that they're actually a better shape and they just look nicer. They're framing my eyes more successfully. Okay, so you can see the contrast with the other eyebrow there. It didn't take long. It's given it better definition, and the brow brush, it comes with this brow brush as part of a set, is then useful. You can just very lightly ensure that it's looking good. So I've got two products there, the primer and the brow brush, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use one of our face products, which is the Fabulous Light, and I'm going to put some onto the brow bone. So that's this area here. I'm going to highlight it. Fabulous Light is a highlighter, and you can see as it catches the light that it's just drawing attention to an area that you want to draw attention to rather successfully. Okay, and tops of the cheekbones is another good area. So you're really doing it in this area here. So just pat it in. You'll find it disappears into the skin very readily. It's a lovely product to use. And the idea of that is that it makes this whole eye area pop, look a lot prettier and better. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to apply some Fabulous shade. I'm going to use taupe. This is matte, like all our shades. It hasn't got any glittery or shimmery thing, which tends to grab onto any crepiness that you have on your eyes. And where I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to try and do this without raising my eye. It's very tempting to raise your brow. And I'm just going to put it there. And the idea of shadow is that you're dividing the eye down into sort of 3 distinct areas. So you've got a lighter area here, a lighter area here, and a darker area in between. Makes your eyes look bigger. So I'm going to pull it out to the outer edges a little bit and just work that in. Not being too bothered about precision at this stage. It doesn't have to be terribly precise, as long as you bring it roughly where it needs to go, because you're going to blend it like crazy in a minute. And I'm actually going to put it down onto this outer corner as well. Okay, so the whole idea is that it has a kind of a lengthening effect, widening effect, should I say, on my eyes. Makes them look bigger. Okay, so that's the kind of rough area that I'm going to put it. And I think that's probably enough. So that was using brush 7. Using another brush 7, clean one this time, I'm just going to blend that like mad. So really, really thorough blending. The whole idea with this is that no hard edges, and so don't, because this brush is clean, this hasn't got any shadow on it at all, I'm literally taking any excess off, but I'm also ensuring that it's as fully blended as I can possibly get it. Right out to the outside edges. Okay, so outer edges, you can do circular motions, pulling into the inside area, and just keep working it in until you feel happy with the way that it looks. Okay, I think that will do fine. Now what I want to do is to put some colour and some lightness into this area of my eyelid, and I'm going to do that using the Silver Mist lid colour. And again, I'm going to use our brush 4 to apply it. I'm going to apply it from the sponge applicator, so that I can kind of control where I'm putting it. I'm just doing it onto that inner area because the outer area has actually got some shadow on it. All right, and again, brush 4 to work it into my eyelid. So it's going on top of the lid primer, and I'm not going to take it all the way across, but I am going to make sure that it is blended so it doesn't look strange. Okay. Remember on that outer area I put some shadow. So when you put this on first, it's quite sticky, but as I said, don't panic. Use the brush, or you can use your finger. Obviously the alternative is to use your finger and pat it in. I find brushes generally give you a much more professional effect. If you don't have brushes, then it's, if you were painting a wall, you'd use a brush. You wouldn't try and put it on with your fingers. And makeup is, you're called a makeup artist because you're actually using pots of paint, aren't you? Colours, paints, whatever. And you're doing that to enhance the look of yourself. So of course you need the tools to go with it, which means brushes. So, hope you like the effect of that. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do something which is about thickening my eyelashes. Eyelashes are very problematic when you're older. They tend to be quite sparse and not very thick. So anything that you can do to increase the look of thickness that you've got, the better. Now I'm going to start off, I'm going to use charcoal shade for this, and I'm going to use our brush 5, which is a little fine brush. And I'm going to do this quite delicately because I don't want to create a great heavy line along my eyelashes. I'm going to do this quite lightly. So resting the brush onto my eyelashes, I'm just going to start pushing some of that product into the base there. So the idea is really to create a thickness, which is the illusion that you're creating. Obviously you're not making your eyelashes thicker, but you're creating the illusion that they're thicker. So not raising it much above the line of the lashes, keeping it really quite close. They're not too much. And the idea is, as I said, is to not so much create a line as to push that product into the roots of the lashes as far as you can. Okay, so quite subtle. I think that's probably enough. I really don't want to overdo it. And it needs to be enough to have an impact without sort of suddenly looking like you've closed your eyes down. You really don't want to do that. Now you can also, if you want to, put a little bit underneath. I don't put much underneath my eyes. I don't like it. I feel it closes my eyes down a bit. But I think that's probably enough. Now just have a look at this eye compared to this eye and my lash area. Just that small amount of product has had quite a beneficial effect. Okay, so that will do for that. And the next thing I'm going to do, it's quite exciting this, I like doing this bit. I'm going to curl my eyelashes. We've got some brilliant new eyelash curlers in the range. They're the best I've ever used anyway, and I've been using eyelash curlers all my life practically. And I'm going to show you the effect of this on my eyelashes. So if I put this here, I think you can see that angle that my eyelashes aren't very curly. They're pretty straight. They come out straight from my eyelids. So I'm going to put them over, and again I hope you can see this, that I'm now trapping my upper lashes between the top and bottom parts of the curler, and I'm going to pump, 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 pump. Okay, does that look as though they're nicely curled? Another go. Pump, 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 pump. It really doesn't take very long. But can you see how immediately they've come up compared to those? You can actually see them. So I've got my eyes same amount open. And again, I'll show you the effect of that in this, if I can get the angle right. There we go. So whereas before they were sticking straight out, now they're actually curling quite nicely. So last thing to do, and that is to apply mascara. And I'm going to do that with the mascara wand. So what's special about our mascara is it's not a lengthening mascara, it is a thickening mascara. All mascaras are thickening. You're adding an extra layer to your lashes to make them look thicker. But what I don't like are really filament heavy gloopy mascaras. I think they look quite ugly. Do you remember Barbara Cartland? She used to dress in pink all the time, and she really did look as though she'd got a couple of spiders had landed on her face. It wasn't a very attractive look at all. And I think when you're older, if you have that very, very hard spidery look around your eyes, it's not particularly pretty. Just my particular thing, but I've had some lovely feedback about this mascara, that, you know, even at the end of its life, it's still not become, you know, all thick and, as I said, gloopy, want of a better word. So bottom lashes, I do this, the bottom lashes at the end of the mascara wand. It's probably easier. They're not very, they're quite sparse, my lower lashes. But there's enough there to create a bit of drama. And I'm just going to go back and put another coat on the top lashes. So, you know, with mascara, you go wiggle, 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 up, wiggle, 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 up, lifting, lifting, lifting. And with the curled lashes, of course, you'll get a lot better effect. So I think that's more or less it. I've used 5 products. I've used the brow shape, I've used the highlighter, and then some taupe shadow and charcoal shadow, and then the lid colour and mascara. So have a good look at each eye in turn, compare them. I hope you'll agree that this eye looks an awful lot bigger than this eye, and that the whole effect is pretty. I'm going to go away and do the other eye now, put some lipstick on. I'm then going to take a photograph, which I hope to put at the front of the video so that you can see the final finished effect. Thanks for watching, hope you found it useful, and don't forget to come and visit us at www.lookfabulousforever.com. We'd really love to see you there. Thank you.